With relationships, a lot of people often want to have it be their way, whether they are dominant or submissive. If you've got a condition like Aspergers, like I do, you can tend to be very controlling in a relationship. And with that said, I personally think that two people with Asperger's, or if one person has Asperger's and the other one is a personality disorder, or if they're bipolar or borderline or narcissistic or whatever, that they may not mesh very well together and they won't be a good mix for each other. I've had girlfriends who were bipolar, and it's complete disaster and chaos. Their relationship went straight to hell because oftentimes, like I said, their families were dysfunctional, and I had to deal with their families, and those people were awfully close to their family, even more than I am to my own mother and to my family. So therefore it didn't really work out. But I don't really foresee somebody who has Asperger's being able to mesh well with someone who's has Asperger's as well. It's very tough. It's a tough situation. I mean, I've been single over 4 years now, and I've sort of almost basically feel like I've given up hope in terms of ever finding someone because of my wants and needs and interests. I need someone who's going to want to be there for me, regardless of the situation. Like, I was in a situation where my ex-girlfriend wouldn't open the door for me because she was having an anxiety attack because because it was nighttime and the dark gave her an attack. And my dog, who just turned 16, just passed away. And she had cancer. And I had her since I was in high school. I was 33 years old at the time. And I was really depressed because of it. I was really hurt. And I came for emotional support. And when she wouldn't open the door for me, I felt betrayed and I was extremely angry. I ended up calling her all kinds of names, telling her off. I ended up even breaking up with her. I told her, that's it, I'm done with her. And the next day I apologized. I was crying my eyes out. And I should have known right then and there that it wasn't going to work out. If she couldn't give me emotional support in my time of need, then you're no good to me. You're useless. Because I've given support countless times to others. But when I need the support and the help, no one's ever there for me. I've had to rely on myself. I've got a couple friends I can call, but they got their own lives too. But as far as a partner goes, two people with problems don't work out. And if they do, it's very rarely a success story. It's really messed up how it is. And two people with mental health problems just don't work out regardless. But oftentimes you see those are the kind of people that are together all the time. The relationships are always chaotic. One person's got to have it together somehow. Has got to be with it enough to handle the other person. I mean, a normal person who doesn't have mental health problems is not going to want to be with somebody who's mentally dysfunctional or has some kind of mental deficit. That's just a given. But pretty much that's the only way I can see a relationship carrying on, if one of those people are normal. I don't see two disabled people really carrying on a relationship. It'll be like having two submissives trying to be together. One has got to be in charge and in control and has to be dominant. In my case, I'm the dominant one, even though I have a disability. I need a partner that's more with it, that'll understand me, understand where I'm coming from. I can explain things 50 different ways to like my exes, and they wouldn't understand me. It was like talking to this wall or this door that's behind me. And I can explain over and over again. And it's frustrating to explain my feelings, and they just don't get it. They say they get it, but I know they really don't, because if they did, they wouldn't continue to do the things I ask them not to do. If someone understands you, they wouldn't do that to you. They would understand that it's hurting you, that it's causing you grief, and stop doing what they're doing. And in my case, though, they kept doing it, and even more so. When I complain, they keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And I thought, okay, maybe it's because they're ignorant and they just don't understand. But they just don't give a fuck. It's as simple as that. And if you're in a relationship, your partner has to honor, love, obey, trust you. Without all those things, there is no relationship. And I'll admit I did a lot of bad things too, out of anger, out of hatred. By the end, I was going to massage parlors, picking up prostitutes on the street because she wouldn't give it up to me when I asked her to. I mean, I had a total of sex 10 times in a 2-year relationship. And for me, that is unfucking acceptable. I've got my demands, I've got my needs, I've got a very high sex drive. I masturbate 5 or 6 times a day. I need sex. And I need someone that's willing to put out and that has the same high sex drive I have. My other previous ex before the last one had a high sex drive like me, and her family got in the way. They were Christian Bible thumpers from hell. They did everything they could to ruin the relationship. And it really broke me emotionally. I still never really, to this day, I still have nightmares about it. Because I was really madly in love. When that relationship ended, I strongly considered killing myself. And I did it passively. I was drinking every day to numb the pain, and I couldn't stop. I was crying nonstop. My world had come to an end. And that is another reason I don't think I can be in a relationship, because I get attached emotionally. And if I get attached, even if it's an abusive relationship, I end up getting hurt either way. And my partners constantly like to hurt me. I don't know what it is about me that makes them want to hurt me, but I think they want to test me. I mean, I've been at a point where I literally wished my partner dead and in hell. But then again, my upbringing was also dysfunctional too. My relationship with my mom, she was a complete control freak and a Bible thumper, and when things didn't go her way, she used to beat the shit out of me from the time I was a teenager. She's only 5 feet tall. But she was controlling, demanding, and she didn't necessarily have a good childhood either. She was brought up in a boarding school, and her parents abandoned her, so she had abandonment issues. She didn't see her mom until 30 years later, almost, the time I was born, from the time she was 11. I'm sorry, 20 years later. And when her mom died a few short years after I was born, it really fucked her up emotionally. And she had to have psychiatric help. And for a lot of people, they don't have their family. They end up having abandonment issues. I've got my own abandonment issues as well. That's why I don't see myself doing a relationship. And if I do, it'll have to be somebody that has more issues than me. Even though I don't want to be with somebody that has mental health issues if I have a choice. I want someone who's with it. But then again, I'm not with it, so how could I say that? But whatever works for you, if you feel you identify more with someone who has a mental health issue, the more power to you. With me, I don't know who I identify with anymore. I'm lost. I'm lost for words, and I can't figure it out. I was really depressed last night, and I think I was having an anxiety attack, and I was having fears about what the future might hold. I was hanging out with this girl who was a drug addict. She's extremely nice to me, but she's a drug addict, so she wouldn't make a good girlfriend for me because she's addicted to drugs. And she does crazy shit, like drive 100 miles per hour on the freeway and throw shit out the window illegally while driving out of a vehicle, littering. A lot of things I don't agree with, and also she does meth. I mean, I thought about maybe I could just sleep with her and get my rocks off or whatever, since I haven't had sex in a while and I'm craving it really badly. But there's a consequence for that. I don't want to mislead somebody and give them the wrong impression and make them think I want to be with them when I really don't, and all I want is sex. That's not fair, nor is that right. That's why you got to be with the right kind of person. If you're going to have sex and you just want sex and you don't want a relationship, find someone that's on the same page. Because if you don't, you're going to mislead that person. You're going to hurt them. You're going to cause a lot of grief and suffering. You don't want to do that. I hope this helps.